introduce yourself and start at the beginning, what year it was that you got into veganism and how you got into it and then how it unfolded.
Yeah, my name is Hannah. I also make videos on YouTube, but I'm here just to share my vegan story with you. Um, yeah, I went vegan in summer 2015, and I stopped being vegan around summer 2019. So it was about 3 years. Now, I just kind of want to give a backstory to me, obviously, before going vegan. I, when I was younger, I was always really sporty. I did a lot of running and everything. I love running. But then I ended up moving to America in 2012. And there I really just got into the gym and things like that. So that was also added. So when I got back from America, I did so good for about 2 years of just, gym. I did like the protein shakes and everything. Um, though I wasn't vegan or anything like that. But yeah, my performance I was doing really well. Um, then from there, so that was 2013, 2013, 14, 15. Yeah. So come about Canada time. So I went to Canada in 2015, the summer, and that's when I found veganism. Um, well, a week before actually I went to Canada, I tried pescatarian for about a week. It was just for not that week exactly before, but just whatever. I get lost in the details. So yeah, I did that for just the week, and I didn't really think anything of it. Like it's fine, just a week, whatever. Got to Canada, enjoyed all the food, like everything. There was no limits then. But then the host in the Airbnb that we were staying at, they had a huge television and it had Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what's coming now. So yeah, I watched first of all Vegucated. So that gave me like the health scare with it, right? Ah. And then I watched Earthlings, and then that gave me the animal scare, a huge emotional, like, ooh, my emotions were really all over the place during that. And then Cowspiracy also, which was this sort of environmental, scare of it. And obviously at the time, I didn't think to myself, oh, this is just pure fear, right? It's just pure fear. Hindsight, obviously, but during it, I felt that, I felt like that, that's like put on your superhero, cape and go save the world, I I was just feeling so bad for everything that I was watching. All this information was coming in about the animals, about the world, people, and I I just was like, no, I don't want to eat any meat or eggs or whatever. I did it in that night. So, yeah, do you know what? At the beginning, I have to say, I really enjoyed it because I I have a thing which is quite interesting. I developed this actually, I think, well, before veganism came, but I had a thing for just pancakes every morning. I just loved pancakes, just making them myself. So with veganism, I got to try all these different variations of them. So what I would often do whilst in Canada, so I lived there for 5 months, I, I literally just would get up every morning just to look forward to these pancakes because they were huge. They were huge stacks because I was sitting watching um, Banana Bananiac on YouTube and Bite Size Vegan and Banana Freeland Urine Rider and everything. They're like sugar, 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 and I was like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. Just have more pancakes and put the fruit on the pancakes. It's amazing. Um, but I actually did genuinely enjoy it though. Do you know what I mean? I really liked it. But I know myself, it was my own kind of laziness as well. So I just kind of lounged a lot. I didn't really try to find work in Canada much. I had a lot of money saved, yada yada. But then an Australian couple moved in with us for a while, and they were really lovely, and the girl out of them, she would be into fruits and veggies and things like that. Loved just, she was always talking about her fruits and veggies, and I just saw her and I thought, like, this is the essence of health, right? Um, and I still believe that about her. But I still was like, wow, I gotta try that. I gotta try what she's having, right? So I would often have just these fruit smoothies and, veggies. And of course, it was all being promoted on YouTube as well. So plus, plus, plus. And yeah, but I have to say, the smoothie thing, I did it, but honestly, I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was just a bit like, I'm just drinking smoothies all the time, and it kind of swayed me too much away from proper food, of like having that preparing of the meal at dinner time, because I was getting so wrapped up in all the other things. Not that I really cared at the time, obviously, you know, but yeah, it was different. It was a different experience. So anyway, I got home from Canada, and that's whenever so I went back to the gym, of course, right, which was back into my fitness. But the performance just it was not the same. But I was eating so many bananas, and um, I also started having white rice and white pasta. I would honestly go to the store and buy this white rice because it was only about 30 pence, thinking, ah, uh, like, this is cheap and this is good for me, I've really hit the, lottery here or whatever, but I don't know, I really didn't enjoy that type of diet. I really, really didn't, but I just felt like I was forcing myself just to get energy, especially with the gym and everything. But like I said, my performance was not as good as it used to be. So from there, well, I didn't have much time to even think about any of this, to be honest, because in 2016, I then went traveling. I was supposed to be going to teach English in Colombia out there. Like, I would have survived as a vegan there. But yeah, I went out there, and it turns out that was cancelled. So something happened, and I ended up suddenly in Los Angeles for about 4 to 5 months through a friend that I met. So of course it was like a field day for vegans, right, with LA. Complete field day. And so I was loving it. I was getting, the fake mayo, or fake vegan, sorry, because it is fake, like, so, I don't know, it's just the whole label thing, like, chicken is chicken, like, it's chicken. You can't say that it's like vegan, it's chicken, you know what I mean? But I didn't think this at the time. I couldn't make that logical, like, connection. So anyway, I was enjoying it. Again, my breakfast stuff still going on, still going strong. And of course, I was in LA, up in the mountains, just enjoying life. And, that's when I stumbled upon ideas for YouTube and things like that. So I actually have, my YouTube channel is about astrology, so I actually stumbled upon astrology. I'm aware that, who's ever watching, I don't want to stray away from the point, but yeah, I just really got into that. But still, my diet was still predominantly the same. But then when I got home from that trip, so this was September 2000 and September 2000 and sorry, I'm a bit, would have been September 2016. Yeah, 2016. Sorry. Yeah. So when I got back home there, I just had so much rice and beans. The friend that I met, he's from Mexico, so he would make a lot of Mexican dishes, but just vegan versions for me. And so from simple rice and beans with brown rice, I was eating that all the time with hot sauce. And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. But the problem came where, well, at the time again, it's always at the time, you just don't notice, and then it's after. I just started losing weight, so much weight. Like, with the juice, the smoothies, and like the rice, the white rice and the white pasta, I was actually gaining weight. I forgot to say that. Yeah, I was gaining fat. And I couldn't understand it. I was like going cycling and everything to try to burn off this fat, but but again, like I say, I was just swept away before I could really think about it. I was traveling and whatnot. But as I say, 2017 came, and for about a year and a half, my typical diet was just banana and oats every morning, um, 2 slices of toast in about 11 a.m. each morning, um, big tub of rice and beans at about 2, and then another huge tub of rice and beans at about 5, and then I would not eat anything else. But that was my consistent routine that I did. I was very disciplined in it, and like I said, I also liked it. Now, of course, there were other meals and things in between that I would have had, but that was mostly the structure of what I had. And like I said, I lost a lot of weight. But I guess going back to the point of, my YouTube and things like that, I was trying to do all my studying and my research for this, right? But it came to about, let's say, from about January, February 2018, things just were not clicking for me in terms of what I was studying, right? It's just through my own materials, in hindsight, from what I know now to back then, yes, I understand that we can learn a lot in that year, but I can't help but think that my diet had something to do with that my diet was able to just make sense of information better, because it wasn't even what I was studying, but it was just conversations with people. And I remember having a conversation with my friend. I said, how are you so good at asking people questions? How do you know what questions to ask people? I find that really hard and really difficult. And now I feel like my communicative skills have substantially improved, in comparison to back then. So yeah, at the time, like I said, I didn't really think anything of it, but I feel as if come January 2018, things just started to go downhill for me. And I think that it was more of my mindset. Um, my moods as well. Oh my gosh, my moods. I remember every day my routine would be like, I'm fine from the morning until about 1 or 2 p.m. and then I would just go really low. And then come about 8 or 9, I was, oh yeah, but then that night I would be so like, oh yeah, and then I wouldn't get as much sleep. So then I was getting less sleep, and then that was making me more tired. So then it just came to a point where my energy levels were just going lower and lower and lower. And I kept just trying to justify it to myself, saying, oh, this is just me. This is just my routine, right? It's just my routine. Like, I'm good from this time to that time, and then this time I go like this, and then I'm fine again. I can't believe that, that's how I viewed it, but I guess I did. And yeah, so I'd say about come summer. Oh, actually, I want to just highlight that from maybe March 2018, I started to incorporate eggs back in, just every now and then, literally just every now and then, and I really enjoyed them. I do enjoy eggs. I've always loved boiled eggs. So yeah, I was getting into the boiled eggs just every now and then. But then
One
like
question, were you still calling yourself vegan at the time if somebody asked you?
um well, I would kind of just say, well, I'm vegan, but I eat eggs sometimes.
Okay.
What's that saying? There's another one that they made up. I can't remember what it's called. I forget, but anyway, yeah, I would have just said that. But I come about summer, yeah. summer that 2018, I just was out and suddenly this just ping and it said, go get a chicken burrito. Just go get it. And I went and took it home and bit into it and I thought, yeah, this is pretty good, you know, it's pretty good. Though it wasn't enough to make me like continue, you know, eating chicken, it just kind of sent me this like the go ahead that you actually really enjoyed that and also you didn't throw up or anything after, because that's a fear that I think is brought in. It's like, oh, well, if you're vegan for so many years and then you eat meat, you're going to throw up or whatever. At least I think I've heard that somewhere. But maybe that was just my own mindset. But I didn't, you know, nothing happened to me. I was completely fine. And, but still, it was just, my main thing, it was my moods. It was my moods. It was my mindset. I started to get really anxious about things. My overthinking was just rapid. And I mean overthinking in terms of negative thoughts, like certain thoughts coming to me that I was like, why are you here? You know, anyway. So I was speaking with my best friend at the time, and he's I met him, of course. I was saying that I lived in LA, and he invited me then out to visit him in America again. So I went out then. This was actually in Arkansas. Went out to Arkansas, and basically in Arkansas, I was there from October until about December of just past. And that's when I was introduced back to eating meat and everything because, you know, he was just making his usual Mexican dishes and things like that. But of course he was using the chicken and the beef. And he was baking other, you know, other certain cuisines as well. But his egg and I think it was just egg and rice burritos he would make. They were so good. But yeah, anyway, so that's how I got back into eating meat again. And I, you know, again, it wasn't like, do you know what I mean? Because I mean, I have heard, of course, you know, from other interviews and things like that, that it's like being this like huge, like, oh, you know, like fully alive and everything. And I would say yes, but I don't know if I noticed the do you know what I mean? I just wasn't aware of the difference. But I think it's more so from what I've been building up over the past couple months that I'm really noticing the difference, if you know what I mean. Because now I eat so much bacon and sausage and eggs. We do potato bread here because I'm from Northern Ireland, by the way, for any of you who don't know. I didn't really say that. But yeah, potato bread, soda bread. What else? I have fish, potatoes, peas. But honestly, I'm also just drinking cream out of the tub, and I love it so much. But yeah, I just feel really good. I feel just so much more energetic, and I feel so much more like I could just go work out again, fine, and I can do my day-to-day things without these weird moods. And you know, also I think another thing to mention is my skin when I was vegan. Oh, it got so dry, and when I was looking over past photos and things, I was convinced that my skin had always been like that. It was just the way my skin's always been. But when I saw all photos, it wasn't, there was none of that. Like, yes, I went through, you know, normal spots as you would, but then it kind of was clearing up, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, the spots was, yeah, it's quite bad. My skin was just really dry, and then my hair was getting really dry as well, and my fingernails, they're so strong now. They used to just break like that, but they're so strong and sturdy, and it just makes me so much more grateful, if you know what I mean, like just to have proper fingernails. And my hair as well would fall out a bit too. So these were just kind of things that, again, I didn't notice so much. I noticed obviously, but I didn't link it to what I was eating. this is the thing. I I did think it was from what I was eating, but I just didn't know what. And so the whole trying to do the elimination thing, I don't know. I can be quite impatient, so I don't know to do that. Um, but yeah, these are just some of the symptoms. I'm trying to think of anything else that I had or experienced.
One
Oh,
question. Oh,
yeah.
okay, now continue. I'll ask after.
Oh, oh, sorry. Uh, yeah, the other thing I experienced was just the leaky gut thing. Like, again, I just thought it was normal to go to the restroom all the time. Like, yeah.
Would you say that you did the vegan diet right, so to speak?
That's a good question.
Because that's the biggest argument for most vegans is that they didn't do it right. Did you use
Yeah.
supplements, for example, also?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I got little B12 supplements, and I took for about 2 weeks. We'll go with that, right? About 2 weeks. But then I started feeling a wee bit sick on them, just a bit like, ooh, ooh. So I was like, oh well, don't need them then. You know what I mean? I really just didn't think anything of it. I just thought, obviously these don't agree with me, so I'm just not going to take them. Obviously my own ignorance with veganism. Um, but I mean, apart from B12, with I mean, would I say I did it right? Well, in the beginning, if I did more like, yes, I had those breakfast foods, but it was a lot of fruit, and then I had smoothies, and then I had a lot of veggies. So that should be healthy. So if that's right,
They don't
yeah.
really have a definition for what is right. They just always say that. Nobody even knows what vegans mean by it. And also, 99% of B12 comes from sewage sludge. So very likely that was your B12. So it's no wonder it makes you sick. Also, when you take the B12, the blood pressure rises always because it's toxic to the body. So the body tries to get rid of it. So a lot of people feel this increase of energy after they take B12, but that's only because it's toxic and you get a lot of adrenaline. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, um, yeah, I flip when you put it like that, 99% of like sludge, pretty much like, ugh.
Yeah, what I was wondering is if you had any vegan friends, or do you still have contact with them? What do they think about you
And
quitting?
well, I've got one vegan friend, and he's completely fine with it. He's like, he, I told him that I went back to eating meat and everything, and it's like, okay, right, cool, no worries, like, it's your choice. So, um, uh, I did tell my other friend who says she's vegan, but she eats fish, which I don't. But anyway, I'm a hypocrite 'cause I did the same, like vegan, but the egg thing. Anyway, um, she I think she was a wee bit taken aback when I told her a little bit, because she's with the animals, and things like that, and um, but apart from that, just little thing like it's all good. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
good.
How do you now see the future of veganism? Where do you think it's heading?
See, to be honest, I think it's gonna fall. I don't think I understand, this new world order diet and things like that. But if you really look at the percentages of vegans, really, in comparison to non-vegans, you're not going to be able to go to like Colombia or go to South Africa or go to China or whatever and try to change, what they eat. Like, I don't know. I think it's just a very westernized thing. It's just a very, like commercial, like trendy thing that's in. Do you know what I mean? And because of that, well, trends commonly go, they die. Like, And I think that, if with people being vegan and things like that, because I'm not saying that it 100% doesn't work or anything like that. I mean, each to their own, right? I mean, I've heard stories of people who've been vegan for over 20 years and they're thriving, right? Um, but I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is that, like, I just don't think it'll really stand, because it'll just come and go. There'll be some other fad diet or something else to come along in its place, but then again, whenever you see the bigger picture, like you would describe, the bigger picture, the New World Order, everything like that, you kind of do think, oh, geez, with the whole sci-fi and artificial intelligence coming ahead for our future, yeah, all that stuff is terrifying. But as to whether or not veganism will continue to rise and over sort of par the non-vegan side, I don't know.
What do you think about the lab-grown meat? Don't you think that they're pushing it?
Um, See, to be honest, when I found out about the lab-grown meat, I thought this was like a really cool thing, right?
Okay.
Thinking, oh, geez, it's lab-grown, it's gonna help so much. But
No nutrients, no bacteria, no
oh,
nothing.
I know, like, do you know what it just boils down to education then, really. Like, when it comes to nutrition for like for Canada, for Australia, for America, for the UK, like Europe, whatever, everywhere, yes, but this plate thing, this pyramid of food or whatever, that thing, what is with that thing? Like, nobody questions this thing. Like, question it, And I think that's what it comes to. It's being in school and being like, what is this? What does this mean? Now, of course, the teachers will tell us what it means, but then it's also good for us to reassess those things later on in life, whenever you're not young and impressionable, but whenever you've grown and you can maybe try to make sense of it for yourself. But I think it just comes with research and discernment and looking into those things. But it's just that we're so distracted that, like, it's just that we're in that kind of cycle of oh, well, this is the plate that you have. Like, you don't need to worry then. You don't need to do anything. Just look at these guidelines, follow these guidelines. It's simple, easy, go, convenience, right? It's just all convenience. It's all just go, 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 go. Like, we're just in a society, because it's just grown so fast and so rapidly, it's just constantly going. We're just running on this freaking treadmill, and everyone's just trying to keep up with this, Everyone's just trying to at least, survive, of course, survive. But at what cost, Like, we don't have time to think. We don't have time to sit and just, think for ourselves or do something that we like or look into something that we enjoy, because it's just constant information overload. You know what I mean? But when it comes to veganism, then, maybe there's a potential, because of the young people now with having access to phones and more technology, I can see how there can be a sneaky little in of manipulation on the young. And maybe it's our responsibility as the older people to flip. What am I talking about? Like, I'm only 27. But you know what I mean? Just the people who are a lot older, for us to pass on, that information. But still, it's trying to get people to wake up and see the information, to do the research, to look into it, to not just turn it away and say, I don't care about your opinion because my opinion's right, because this is how I've been programmed and conditioned. It can be tough, and I just get really passionate when I talk about this. But if anything, I just hope people could just wake up and just learn to think for themselves. You know what I mean? Just to see that there's so much more potential and, like, opportunity.
Anything else you would like to add? Something special or something specific you would like to say to any vegans who are watching, maybe?
Um, okay, so to any vegans watching, if the diet that you're on is good for you and you're thriving in it, then that's great. Do your thing. But just be cautious of how you may, you know, look to others as well and what they're eating. And just be accepting and try not to be over judgmental because that's a thing that can come with it. Just whatever you're eating, whatever you're doing, if it's good for you, do it. But at the same time, if there's ever a time that you decide you don't want to be vegan anymore, that's okay too, okay? That is okay too. And please don't feel guilty for it. You're not here to to have guilt placed on you for what you eat. Like, please, that is such a big thing when it comes to guilt and shame and fear and stuff like that. Like, vegans, just don't let the guilt stop you from feeding yourself. Please. That's it.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.